Okay, today I'm going to do a comparison to see what is the best ultra short-term duration government money market ETF. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. So I have 3 ETFs that I want to compare, and I did a previous video on money markets, and this one I found out about a new one, so I want to kind of compare it. So I'm going to compare SGov, which is the iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury bond ETF. Now it has the lowest fee out of 0.05%, and it is fixed term Treasury bonds. The next one I want to look at is the iShares Treasury Floating Rate Bond ETF, also known as TFLO. It has an expense ratio of 0.15%, and it invests in Treasury floating rate bond notes. The next one I want to look at is a new one that I just became aware of. It's called the WisdomTree Floating Rate Treasury Fund, USFR. It also, just like TFLO, invests in U.S. government floating rate notes. And it also has the same 0.15% expense ratio. Okay, let's look at the performance. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do, for the 6-month performance, I did Vanguard VOO is in orange as a reference. SGov is blue. TFLO is the purple one. WisdomTree is the green one. Now, if just with the 6-month return, interest rates didn't start going up until just recently, so the returns aren't going to be that great. This is just the price return right now. So you can see that VOO wouldn't be a suitable money market account because the price goes up and down too much. But you see all the other ones, it's a fairly straight line. Now, if we actually put in the total return, you'll see that this line starts to go up. You'll see that the line goes up gradually because it's been increasing in value with the interest is reinvested. So out of the 6-month, USFR had the highest return at 2.04%. TFLO was 1.98%, and SGov was 1.84%. So SGov is lagging behind, and that's what you'll see when we start looking at all the numbers. If we do the 1 year, just the price return, we'll see that TFLO actually did better. It did 0.26%, then SGov, then USFR. But when we do the total return, you'll see it's a little bit different. So when I put in the total return, you'll see that TFLO is the winner at 2.67%, and then just slightly behind is USFR at 2.65%, and then SGov is lagging at 2.35%. Now, if we go back to the 3-year, we're probably not going to get a completely accurate measurement because SGov looks like it was a little bit too new. There's probably a few months chopped off of SGov. Anyways, if we look at this, you'll see that USFR did the best at 3.17%, and then TFLO was 2.84%, and then SGov was 2.46%. Now, I saw somewhere, I think, that TFLO had a 0.20% expense ratio, and it perhaps was lowered to 0.15%. I believe I saw somewhere that TFLO previously had a 0.20% expense ratio that was lower to 0.15%. So maybe that's why this is underperformed. But I may be mistaken. I tried looking it up. I couldn't find it. So maybe I was looking at the other one, FLOT, when I was looking at the change in rate. But the rates I think the one that's probably most important is the 1-year rate, because I know for sure that they both had the same expense ratio in the last year. And so if we look at these two, they're almost the same. Now, WisdomTree is the largest of the group. It has $14.22 billion of assets under management. TFLO is $5.06 billion. One thing that I recently noticed, if you look at this chart here, you can see that USFR is in black. TFLO is in blue. That TFLO has been outperforming, the price has been going up quite a bit, has been outperforming USFR by a little bit more recently. So like the last 6 months or so. And I think some of that may be due to the price premium that TFLO seems to have a slightly higher price premium than USFR. If we look here at TFLO, if we look at the premium discount chart, for 2022, 239 days out of the year, it was priced at a premium to its net asset value. Only 7 days it was at a discount. And you can look, if you look here, the average is, I would say, past 2022, the average is probably from 0.05 to 0.1. I would say the average is about 0.07. It looks like about 0.07%. It's kind of in the middle of these two lines. It looks like 0.07 is about the average premium. Now, if we actually look at, and that's a little bit higher than USFR. If we look at the medium day bid-ask spread, it's 0.02%, just like USFR from WisdomTree. iShares owns more floating rate notes. They own I believe this is about 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They own 8, whereas WisdomTree, I believe, is only 4 notes. Also, iShares holds more cash. So if you look at this, they have negative cash here, but when you subtract the 0.94 from the 0.33, they're about 0.6% cash. If we look at WisdomTree, the percentage cash is only 0.01% cash. So they've got more invested. WisdomTree has more invested in the treasuries and less in cash, which I like that. Now you'll see that the 30-day yield is pretty much the same for both. It's 4.69%, and that'll be going up. Now the median bid-ask spread for WisdomTree is 0.02%, just like T-Flow. Now the premium on this shows that it's actually selling at a discount, and that's kind of a rarity. But if we actually start looking at the chart in detail, you'll see that this was just one day, and more days than not, it was actually selling at a premium. So if we go back, today's the 7th. Yesterday it was selling at a discount of 0.01. On the 3rd, it was 0.05%, a premium, 0.07, 0.04. But you'll see that the average is probably less than 0.07 when you start looking down. You see that there's a range of low numbers like 0.01, 0.02, 0, 0.03, 0.02. So it sort of looks to me that the average is less. It looks to me like WisdomTree floating rate treasury is selling at a lower price typically than T-Flow. If we look at the holdings for WisdomTree has 1, 2, 3, 4 treasuries. They have 4 treasuries versus iShares T-Flow has 8. I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. Now, if you go back to the cash holdings, here you can see a chart of the premium and discount. This basically looks like just like what I was saying. It's this is February, this is March. Now you see most days it's like 0.03. It's anywhere from 0 to 0.03. You don't see 0.07 or 0.09 very often. So I do like that. It seems like it's priced better than T-Flow. You'll see that there's more days in 2022 that it sold at a discount than T-Flow, 31 days. Now if you look here, it says cash 0.01%, 99.99% in treasuries. So I would think that would lead to better returns on this one, on the WisdomTree. WisdomTree USFR pays its dividend or interest monthly, just like iShares T-Flow does. And you can see the distributions here. Okay, here you can see a chart. This is from Morningstar. If you look at the WisdomTree floating rate treasury ETF, you see that the red line, if you look at this, the red line is the net asset value, and the blue line that you see above it is the price. And you'll see that the gap between the blue and the red, that's the premium. Or in some cases there would be a discount, but that's like right here, but that doesn't happen very often. But you'll see that the gap is closer on USFR. Now, if we do another one and we compare it to T-Flow, you'll see that the gap between the blue and the red is greater, so that the premium is actually greater. Now this is T-Flow. Now look at the difference in T-Flow. So look at the red line, which is the net asset value. Look at the gap here. It's a huge gap. You have some days, after the rate started going up, the price started shooting up way above the net asset value. So it was definitely selling at a premium, a much greater premium than USFR. And you can see even here the gap looks larger. So based on this, which one do I like better? I do like T-Flow. The biggest thing that I like about T-Flow is the ticker symbol is slightly easier to remember. But the performance between the two is about the same. But I would be leaning towards USFR because it has a slightly lower premium most of the time. More of the cash is invested in treasuries, so that's what I definitely like about. That's why I'm leaning towards WisdomTree Floating Rate Treasury Fund, because WisdomTree Floating Rate Treasury Fund has more assets under management. It has a lower premium to net asset value compared to T-Flow, and it has more of the assets invested in the treasuries and less in cash than T-Flow. But I would say the edge is very slight. And SGov is still good, but it's lagging behind. So with an increasing interest rate environment, I definitely would lean towards USFR or T-Flow over SGov. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. Have a good one.